Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
What kind of girl you like? I know my looks can be deceiving. Tell me, am I your type? My main goal is to please you. What's on the schedule tonight? Am I the reason you'll be treating? I hope you have an appetite. So tell me, will you come and spend the night?
My love is like, whoa. My kiss is like, whoa. My touch is like, my sex is like, my ass is like, whoa. My body's like, and your kissing is, so what you think of it? Whoa, ha ha ha, whoa, whoa, ha ha ha, 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 oh, whoa, ha ha ha.
Yeah, clean ending. Clean ending.
Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to the variant of podcast. This is Jaden XD.
Nigga, I'm not trying to catch that jet blue.
Good. I'm about to try to catch no Phi Beta Lambda.
Oh
child.
my
Okay.
God.
No Kappa New here.
Okay, I don't want that Bugatti.
Okay. Which means get vaccinated and wear your mask and wash your hands.
Just don't be a dick. Like, just don't be a dick. It is not hard to not be a dick. Like, put your mask on, mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Just do that.
Yeah, yep. So, but yeah, welcome back, everybody. We had a little time off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
As you come back, I'm going on my vacation.
Yes,
so
you
it's
are.
going to be a good time. But anyway, I'm not going to ask you how was your week because that's what the whole show was about. Mm-hmm. But how are you today?
Oh, I'm tired. I am, mothers. Vacation is work. I think we touched on this and we'll touch on it more. But it still was beautiful. And then, I left work and I jumped right back into work. But I'm feeling grateful today. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling grateful today that this was able to happen. And that, we we came back feeling like, yeah, nigga, we did that. Okay? We did that. And we can do it again. We're going to do something else. So that's how I feel today. How are you?
As of today, I am, I'm a little anxious.
Why?
Well, because I have to fly out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's my first, I'm not nervous. I get travel anxiety in general, but it's my first flight since we moved. And also I'm get to see my folks for the first time in I don't know how long. So it's just
gosh.
I know. So everybody's vaccinated and that's cool, but it's still a lingering but
yeah.
I'm a little anxious. And also, I don't understand why it's so difficult to find a weekender bag in Los Angeles that's not over like $100.
Oh.
I know.
Or a weekender.
Listen, do you know what? Do you know what my day was like this morning? It's 1 p.m. in whatever day this is. Do you know? Woke up, showered, went to tribal a couple times. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And then was like, we should go to breakfast.
Oh, I do love a good go to breakfast.
Right. The unfortunate thing, we only went around my neighborhood because we were that hungry.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it be, though.
Yeah.
You have a good neighborhood breakfast spot?
Yes, but that's not where we went to. We went to IHOP. So
Okay.
The good breakfast spot doesn't have a sit down place in it. That's how you know it's good.
Okay. All right. So y'all went to go do the Root and Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
Mm-hmm. I needed to get me a little crepes with a little lingonberry and
They got the lingonberry down at the IHOP now.
They've always had the lingonberry down at the
they?
IHOP.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, I don't
the
IHOP
lingonberry
like that.
spread. Well, yeah.
Okay.
The lingonberry, it's where it's at. But that's not what I got. I got a Belgian waffle.
Okay.
Which I think it's always counterproductive that you would
get a waffle at the House of Pancakes.
Yeah, but that just lets you know how trash their pancakes truly are. So.
Oh, I have a Virgo mother, and I remember, yes, my mother is a Virgo as well, but she's August, and they're a little different. But she got some qualities. So I remember one time we all went to IHOP, which we didn't IHOP as a family, but we were like, all right, we're going to run here and grab some breakfast. And she got a short stack. They used to, I don't know if they used to, buckwheat pancakes, I think. They were like the low-key,
that's
healthier
made out of yoga
option.
mat.
Yeah, but they're actually not bad, from what I remember. It had like a little nutty quality to it. Wasn't bad.
Oh yeah, the health and nut. Yeah, it's like a banana nut situation.
It wasn't. I wasn't mad at it, but she got that, and her psycho Virgo self lifts the pancakes in the short stack. She's like, I just want to check each one and make sure it's copacetic.
I know that's right. I know that.
And I will never forget this. The bottom pancake was not intact. Like, it's like they had pieced it back together. And then they hid it under the other
whole shit back.
So, of course, my mother of all the people gets this puzzle pancake at the bottom of her short stack. And my father, as soon as she was like, do you see this? Do you see do you see this pancake? She's like, this is a puzzle. This is Pangea.
And I know your father, a Taurus, was like, oh, shit.
That's exactly what he was like. Here she go. The server comes back. And she's like, excuse me. They pieced my pancake back together.
Pick up the pieces. Pick up the pieces. When it all falls apart, we pick up the pieces. Pick up the pieces.
She's like, I want a full short stack with everything intact. And my father was like, you gonna cut them up anyway. She's like, it's not the point. Somebody's hands were piecing this back together.
I mean, that's very
It's valid.
true.
It's valid. Me being in the service industry, at the time I wasn't, but I've always been cringy about like people who do too much at public restaurants and things like that. But then also, there's that fine line of, but yes, nigga, I'm paying for this. You've got to give me quality.
Listen,
but
I paid for it.
It was one of the moments where we were all like,
removed.
oh shit. Here she go with this fucking pancake.
Yeah.
Points were made, but still.
Yeah, like, I'm always like, listen, I'm paying for this food, and I'm also not that far removed from slavery for me to be picky and choose. Like, for me not to be picky and choose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nigga, I still cook
free.
okra.
Like, listen, I am free. I should be able to be as persnickety as I want. You know what I mean? So let me, within reason. Now, there are some people who go to restaurants just to be a dickhead, and that's how they get their jollies off.
I don't like that.
But I understand your mother's point, because that leads me to be like, if this is pieced together, that means somebody's hands touched it.
That's it. That was her point. That was her point. She was like, they pieced this back together like a child.
Yeah.
But don't be a dick at restaurants and when you go out to eat and things like that. I remember when Lawrence Fishburne's black ass used to come sit at the bar. I don't care. I'm saying names.
Okay.
I still like him. I don't care. But
You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate?
he would come sit his black ass at the bar and bring his bougie ass bottle of wine and ask me to open it. And I was like, you gonna bring your own fucking wine to my bar and then ask me to open it? I said, you better tip me. That's all I know. And then that's when he fell in love with Dr. Kia. But remember that story. But yes, okay, well, what are we talking about today? What are we doing?
Well, before we do any of that, let's take care of some business first.
Oh, there's lots of business, guys.
There's lots of business. So let's talk about Jada and XD first, right?
We're coming to an end. No, just play. I know somebody was like, damn, I wish it was true.
I know. Like, finally. like on some of The Wiz, Can You Feel a Brand New Day? Like, we're the Eveline and we got flushed down the toilet.
Ooh,
Listen,
we deserve
niggas on LSA are singing Can You Feel a Brand New Day, honey?
They're like, man, these niggas, they've teased us.
Right. Damn.
No,
But
we do have announcements, though.
Yeah, so first things first. I don't know if this will happen by the time you're listening or maybe the week after. But we will be available everywhere.
Hey!
Whereas we are still a Spotify preferred podcast, just know that we are able to be distributed everywhere. And so we will be on Apple Podcasts and anywhere else, Google, wherever else you used to listen to us and more.
Yes.
Because about 90 other podcast apps then came up since quarantine. So you'll be able to listen to us there too. So just look out, check your apps. It'll be either, by the time you're listening to this or the following week. So
Yep. Somebody will log into their Apple Podcast and get a surprise.
Right.
But yes, we are available everywhere. I think hopefully starting this week.
Yeah, hopefully starting this week. If not, then it'll be sometime between the next two episodes.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Guess who's back? Back again. JXD is back. Tell a friend, Also, sign up for Patreon. $7. We're on a little break, and that's just because we were traveling and stuff, but keep in mind, we're still covering these things. So,
everything will be back next week.
Yeah, gotta give us move to breathe and, be with our families and stuff. We will also be announcing something exclusive that Jade and myself have done, aka produced, aka shot and filmed.
Yes. AKA wrote, AKA executive produced, nigga. We was on our Tyler Perry.
Right. So that'll be announced through Patreon soon, and as well to the rest of the world very, very soon.
Yes.
Also, we have a YouTube channel that we could finally talk about.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/JadenXD, where you'll be able to, in the next couple of weeks, be able to see some of our Patreon content, only parts of it, not the full one, because you still have to go, support the homies.
Yes.
But also just give you a little dab of what we do here over on Patreon.
Yes.
Or there over on Patreon, excuse me.
We have a good time on the Patreon. I'm not going to hold you.
Yeah, it's a wang dang doodle. I'm trying to think before we talk about the other updates. that regards to TV. So we did JXD updates. Yeah, that's it. I think.
Yeah,
Everything else can be covered. Yeah, everything else can be covered later. So let's take a break. And we'll be back after these mensajes.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Popular Science presents a backstage preview of television, the newest miracle of modern electrical engineering. Technicians in the Farnsworth, Philadelphia laboratories have helped to make television, the dazzling dream of the decade, a practical reality today. Mr. Philo T. Farnsworth, shown at the right, is working on the image dissector tube, a photoelectric camera.
And we're black. So we have some more news to talk about. This regards TV and all the shows that we cover, right? So, also join our Discord. If you're not a member of our Discord, that's where the mess also lives.
Oh, honey.
It's where the Jade and XD community come together to talk shit about all the shit that we do, or that we watch, excuse me, and then some. Because I learned a lot from you all from just reading the things.
And then he tells me.
Yeah, so especially this tidbit of information. So we see that Graham Cracker, Anderson Paak, Big Booty Judy, and, you know, our Nubian queen, Clara, are getting a divorce.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't giving up the Duke.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what?
Or what does Eureka call it? The dingaling. What does she call it?
The dong.
The dong.
Oh, dong. Oh,
dingy dong.
No, ding dong. The ding dong. Because I remember it was like food. So yes, the ding dong. So,
That bitch said, "Oh, this is so you don't get the weighty or your teeth on the weighty."
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
You'll be able to find that on Patreon.
Yeah. But they're getting divorced.
Yeah. I mean,
saw that coming. I mean, it doesn't really.
I don't feel no way about it.
Mm-mm.
Now, what I did see also is that Seagram's got free.
Yeah.
Seagram's also got free. Your girl is there also getting a divorce. Seagram's and QAnon are no longer going to be a thing. I'm sure he probably kicked one of her cats. You know what I'm saying? Or fed her dog a little chocolate.
Yeah. Or fed her dog a cat.
Or fed her cat a dog.
Right. Rex, you want a little lunch special?
And she said no mas. So they are getting divorced. No, we don't know why they're getting divorced, but they're getting divorced as well.
Apparently, there was some, menage a boogie rumors with Virginia and wanting to do a, she was trying to get a menage a boogie on with, her homies, rom-com and somebody else.
Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a moment. This is not what was on the
QAnon accused, it is rumored in circulation that Cuddy Stark was trying to have a menage a boogie with rom-com and somebody else, and I think QAnon wasn't a part of that situation.
Wait, hold on. I feel.
Yeah, child. It's getting weird.
Wait, while in rehab. Wait. Wait.
Wow.
Wait, what did I just see? Hold on. Yeah. Get to the get. We aren't closing the doors on a possible future together. Please, the doors are shut.
Okay. What did Nene say? The door is closed.
What did I see, though? Okay, here we go. Around that same time, Eric and Virginia's Married at First Sight co-star Chris Williams, oh Lord, alleged on his Instagram stories that Virginia was a bad influence on her husband because Eric had received a DUI and completed a court-mandated rehab for 45 days. Chris also alleged Virginia had traveled to Mexico while Eric was in rehab and attempted to have a threesome with her Married at First Sight co-star, her MAFS co-star, Haley Harris' brother, and his spouse.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. The juice, the tea.
Okay, I ain't worried about all that.
But yeah, they are, told you there was mess there.
Child, I didn't know nothing about that. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Well, yes, but we are aware that they are getting divorced. As far as, Graham Cracker he's very tight-lipped. So I don't think much is going to come out about whatever. I think they just have irreconcilable differences.
Right. So also, Megan was Maggie J. Shoulders, Jazzy
Lord.
Shoulders.
Oh, Jesus.
Was on a podcast. I can't think of their names right now. They do reviews like we
Triple
do.
Five Soul?
No. There's black folks who do similar comedy podcasts like us. So they do recaps, whatever. So Maggie J was on there, and apparently she was dropping dime and saying that production knew that Michael was like abusive to kids.
Wait,
and
what?
Sarah knew about it. Mm-hmm.
Wait, because he left the kid with the bag of Cheetos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait.
But pause. I want to go back though because I don't think it's fair to blame Virginia. Well, first of all, Chris said it, so never mind.
Right,
but I also don't think it's fair to blame Virginia on Eric's DUI choice.
No, not at all.
What sober pilot you know? Oh, wait.
Child, they love the cocaine. What you mean?
Okay.
They love the cocaine.
How many drug pilots have you seen at a bar?
Plenty.
Like.
In clusters. What do you mean? They love to drink. They love to party. They love to snort a little cocaine.
They
and
love
probably
the
do it to stay
nightlife.
Awake. Stop.
They love to boogie.
But on top of that, that's a grown-ass
while
man. So it's not her fault if he got a DUI. That means he drank and he got behind the wheel and he knew what the fuck he was doing. So stop.
Yeah.
Remember, he's been married twice. He has experience. Don't, please. I'm the wrong one.
Yeah.
I'll turn it back on you, nigga.
All right. So, but yes, they those people are getting a divorce.
That's not what the show is about.
We all knew Michael was abusive. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that we haven't covered that we found out?
So wait a minute, hold on. So she said they knew he was abusive. So he has a history?
Apparently.
Oh, wow. Sharp Entertainment. Y'all ain't shit for that.
Oh, last but not least, Sharp Entertainment. Thank you. Marrying Millions. So Bill is nasty.
Oh.
Disgusting and vile.
Which we knew to an extent.
Yeah, but we didn't know all that.
Not what we found out. No.
Yeah.
But he has a skeevy energy.
Right. So we haven't talked about the show in quite some time, but if you watch on Lifetime Marrying Millions, seasons 1 and 2, there was a couple named Bill and Brianna, and Bill was in his 60s. He's some hippie rich white guy who owned a couple of hotels in Texas and throughout, right? Mm-hmm. and the object of his affection was like 20, and he kind of like stalked her and groomed her into like, you know. Fast forward, he has been charged with sexual misconduct with a 17-year-old and a 16-year-old in 2 different states.
Ooh. That's nasty. That's just nasty.
Right. Mind you, one of them was in his own home.
Yep.
So, you know, not only, and then we also have learned that he's racist and all that good stuff, but that was kind of a given.
I'm not surprised by that at all. Friend.
But yeah, that nigga's nasty, and you know, it should be, you know, things should happen to him, bad things.
I think bad things should happen to all people who rapists, people who touch kids, all of them. And I'm not for the prison program. I said things should happen.
Exactly. People who still wear curve, you know.
Oh my God.
Like bad things should happen.
Stop it, please. Who's still wearing curve?
Listen, people who break unnecessarily. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You see?
Jupe.
Yeah. Yeah. People who, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of things that, you know, should happen to bad people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anywho, that was the TV roundup. I do know that we'll talk about all the other shows in depth, like Life After Lockup. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right.
That'll be on Patreon next week, as well as Drag Race, which is funny. And Rigged. That shit is rigged. I don't give a damn. I was upset after this week's episode of Drag Race. They gave that win to Ginger. It's either because she's going to win Drag Race or she's about to go home, and they promised her something that they couldn't give, like Jujubee when they sent her home. You see what I mean?
They did give it to Ginger because I was actually very. We'll talk about
You're
that
racist?
more. But I'm like, okay, so I'm trying real hard here to not be.
I know what you mean. It's hard, but just say it flat out once.
Let me just say this: that win was full of shit.
Yeah, yeah,
it was full of shit because there was a lot of vulnerability. If that's what you all were looking for, and what have you, like. Raja, her whole tear ducts went red and inflamed on the damn thing as she talked about her relationship with her mother. I honestly thought that Trinity and Akira and Eureka, I think they deserved to win. They did the best.
They did.
They were enjoyable all the way through. But they gave the win to Ginger, and I don't think it was fair.
If anything, Eureka should have won. But if you're gonna do that, then give it to Eureka.
No, give it to Raja. You know I mean? If we're going to talk about... Give it to Raja.
No, if that's the case, give it to Akira, not Raja. But
very true. Very true, because Akira...
It's got to be in that winning group because all of them gave... That's some shit I would pause. Let's just talk about this on the show, on Patreon.
You're right.
But yeah, that one was some bullshit. But let's take another break. And let's talk about our summer breaks that just happened and are about to come. Hit it, Claude.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Inviting beaches. Paradise for sportsmen. Rendezvous for romance under sunny skies. This is the lure of the West along the golden shores of California.
And we're black.
Ooh, yes. Give me a round
Yeah.
Let's see how long you can go.
Oh, I can.
Hold on. Let me time you. Hold on. Let me put on the timer. Wait, where the fuck is the timer? Oh, yeah.
In the clock app.
In the clock. Here we go. Stopwatch. All right. Tell me.
When I start sustaining the note.
Yep.
Okay, ready? Hi.
Ooh! 14 seconds.
All right.
Okay, and you came back strong too. You better do that, nigga.
That was weird key too, but whatever. But yeah, we were on a little breaky break. The coolest thing is Jade got to visit my hometown, which is fun.
I did.
So yeah, tell me. You tell me what happened with yours, and I'll tell you what happened with mine because I have a couple stories.
Okay. So we started off. We flew into Portland. And we stayed in Portland for a couple of days. Shout out to my homeboy Abe and my homegirl Neek, a beautiful black couple. If you've ever seen one, Abe's been a good friend of mine for 12 years or so. So he and Neek happened to be going out of town at the same time we were coming to Portland. They moved to Portland a couple years ago. And so niggas stayed in their house. I was like, yo, tell me what part of town I need to get an Airbnb. And he was like, my house, because we're leaving and you all don't need to stay anywhere else. So that was actually some divine shit. So we were in Portland for a good time. I know that there's a lot of people who have opinions and experiences in Portland because the black people are not as prevalent as the whites.
No. No.
I will say the pockets of black people that I found were very pleasant, very good people, originally from Oregon, originally from Portland. And they were very excited to be in black community.
Have you ever watched Portlandia?
No.
I was going to ask if it was like that.
Well, what's Portlandia like?
Oh, I'm trying to think of another descriptor other than white.
Well, so far, yes.
It's white, woodsy, and offbeat.
Yeah.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah. It's all, it's all of that.
It's
hardly
white.
any police, which is
it's white, woodsy, offbeat, and what's another word? Ironic. There's a lot of irony in
Portlandia. Is it a good show?
Yes, I think it is. Well, you also watch Seinfeld, so you would like it.
I would appreciate. So it is white, woodsy, offbeat, and it's a lot of Tivas. I wear Tivas.
Yes.
I wear Birkenstocks. So that, but it was just real fascinating to walk around the city as people were real like, y'all are not from here. Where are you from? Oh my God, you're so beautiful. I'm like, bitch, these are braids. Like, relax. It's like the white people were hyped to see us and the black people were hyped to see us. It was very fascinating. We went to Multnomah Falls, which is this beautiful waterfall. It's a lot of tourists around there though. And I think we went at a good time of day because I think a lot of people go in the morning and we went on the later note, and I heard it was kind of wild earlier in the day, but it's this like crazy, crazy waterfall about 30 minutes outside of Portland going towards Washington.
Did you hike it?
So you can't really, niggas will die. And so, you will die if you look it up. Hold on.
I can't because California is on fire, therefore my internet is out.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I've learned that's what happens when my internet goes out. I had to figure that out last summer.
We're going to talk about that too. But so we went to Multnomah Falls. And so what you do is you hike like up this trail. to this bridge. And so you can like see the fall, but you cannot get close to it because, again, niggas will die. It's one of those. And I saw this group of like, I don't know if they were Amish or Midianite. They had on like big black shoes and like that outfit that I had on in LA. That ass.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this is fat. And they had the hairstyles like where they like old English. They were like rolled. And at first I was like, is this like a play group? But it wasn't.
They weren't like docents or anything. They were just like,
What's a docent?
you know how like a docent is like a tour guide. So like
no, they weren't. Because the way that they secluded themselves told me that they were some sort of group. But I had never. I've seen Amish before. I've seen Midian. I didn't know what was happening here.
That also reminds me. The Amish people
all look like old slave owners.
Yes, yeah. Because I've been watching Escaping like Amish, whatever the shit they had on TLC. I've had a wild week. So
oh nigga, wait a minute, hold on. I used to watch that. I saw like the first season where the kids moved to New York.
Yes, yes,
yes, yes, yes. Let me tell you something. The mamas and the papas got wild. Okay,
listen.
That might be something.
Niggas saw an escalator and lost it.
Oh my God. You want to talk about not exposing children to anything. They will go buck, nigga. That is what will happen.
Yes. I was like, is it crack? Niggas was like happy to see light.
I feel like,
you know what I mean?
At a certain point for some of them it was.
It was, yeah. It was. Mm-hmm. But anywho, you went to the falls.
So we went to the Multnomah Falls. You know, we ate real good. Portland had good food. They had real good food, and I feel like I could open some really good food there. So we ate some really, really good food, and then so we rented a car, and that's when we drove down the coast.
I have a question about Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Is it as free as everybody says it is now?
So I didn't see niggas using crack. I was looking for it. I was like, okay, I'm looking for somebody to be smoking crack. But no, I didn't actually. I hardly saw anybody smoking weed. Now, obviously, the dispensaries are aplenty, and we did find a black dispensary. So we were looking up, black-owned businesses along the way. In the last episode, I told you all about Crush Global. You can go find Crush Global. She will facilitate all of your travel needs. So we got some good recommendations from her. But we looked also specifically for black-owned businesses. So there's a few dispensaries that pop up in Portland that tell you that they're black-owned. I found out they're not all black-owned. A few of them are black-operated. And they're very much about supporting the black lives out there. Like, they put it all in the window, in the yards, and the flags on the back of the bumper stickers and all of that, in their business windows and so forth and so on. You know what I have to say about that? Maybe slightly it's not problematic. I'm all about you supporting black lives, right? Announce it to the world. But I want to see how you act when you get a whole bunch of niggas moving to your neighborhood. That's all I'm saying. Don't support black lives to the point where it benefits you. I want you to support black lives where you don't mind living amongst black lives, where you ain't gonna be the ones to be pushing black lives out of the neighborhoods. That's also part of that. It's not just getting killed by the police. Let's be clear. Mm-hmm. So I saw that all over the place, and I said, this is cute, and this is very cool and good, but I want to see how you act when you get a flood of niggas moving your neighborhood. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about them black lives? So anyway, that's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? That we need to check ourselves on everything. And I think that, people get real hype when they, want to support George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, and they want to march and do so forth and so on. And all that is cool. And you want to jump in front of some niggas on behalf of the police. Good. You should. But when it comes down to the small things, when it comes down to living with black people, your children playing with other black kids, You know what I'm saying? Being exposed to black culture in those ways, understanding where your whiteness contributes to gentrification. All of those things, you need to address all of it. So those were some of the things I thought about while I was out there. But I enjoyed Portland actually very much. And I said if I found a black community, especially black kid community, like that's actually the most important thing for me, because what I'm not doing is putting Noah in no all-white school.
Ooh,
I'll never do that. I'll never do that. That has done such a disservice to so many of you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. Y'all be up on the internet crying, and I'm so and praising and being happy to be black, and I love it. Embrace black culture, all those things. Everybody's proud to be black now. They be real hype, but growing up, everybody wasn't proud to be black, nigga.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? And they were shamed because they were the only black girl in the school, and then they had a bunch of, Rebeccas and things around them who were making them feel a way about themselves. And what I'm not getting ready to do is put my black daughter in those circumstances. So I'd have to, in us looking to move out of New York, we have to explore.
Yeah, because honestly, that's traumatic for a kid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, there's one thing to uproot your kid into moving your kid in general, right? Because we've watched a whole lot of House Hunters,
right?
And so I always think about they always talk about kids and not moving, they not wanting to change schools, and I completely understand that.
Yeah.
It makes it even more difficult for you as a parent because you have to do a lot much more emotional work, and requires a lot more bandwidth because of the fact that on top of your kid already being an emotional already because they're growing.
And Noah is especially firsthand how ingrained she is in her community, right? And my mother-in-law and Tristan's aunt and Tristan's sister, my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law and cousins and all kinds of things are right around the corner. They literally a couple blocks away. Towards the end of the vacation, she was like, I'm ready to get home and play with Kira, and I'm ready to see my Nana. And it was like, but we also understand we can't stay here if we want to grow our family, if we want to expand in space and so forth and so on, to things that make sense financially and so forth. So it's a lot to consider.
No, I understand. Kids come first.
They come,
actually, on my Google photo, right? Google Photos, I saw the picture the day I met Noah because it came up in the thing. We was both scared to hold each other.
Let me tell you also, XD was frightened. Okay, nigga.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to break your baby. That would not be on my conscience.
And I was like, you're good. Just go wash your hands, and we're going to set it up. And they were best buddies ever since.
Yeah.
She used her little camera the whole trip.
Oh, yeah. I got Noah a little Fuji Instacam for her birthday.
Mm-hmm. A little purple one.
Yes.
She dropped it a couple of times, just to let you know it's 30.
That's fine. I mean, she is 8. I don't expect kids to keep things clean.
No. That's
another thing. I have not seen this in a while, but I've thought about this recently about how parents get upset at kids for getting their clothes dirty.
That is the dumbest thing in the world.
It's like, first of all, you are 30 and you can't keep a white shirt white to save your own life. So what makes you think a 6-year-old is going to do the same?
She goes to school and they're outside 70% of the time. And during pandemic, 100% of the time. Or we're still in the pandemic because we got the JetBlue and the fucking Spirit.
There's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about because California has lost it.
Oh my God, I know. I was there.
Yeah.
That's why we drove, nigga. That's why we did what we did. We were like, we're not playing around with you. All are reckless out here. We're not doing this. They reckless here. They reckless everywhere, nigga. They reckless in Missouri. They reckless in New York. They reckless everywhere. I seen some bitch from the Bronx talking about, well, you only got one life. I'm like, bitch, go live it inside and get out of here.
Right. Play with the one you got on your own time, not me.
Well, put your goddamn mask on. That's all I'm asking you to do is put the damn mask on. If you want to be reckless, that's your business. Put your mask on.
Right.
But, California is wildin'.
So you left Portland, right?
Okay, so we leave Portland and we rented a car and drove down to Trinidad, California.
Ooh.
Yes.
Trinidad, California is on the northwest coast of California, if you didn't know.
Yes.
It's close to the Oregon border.
Took us 7 hours, I think, to get from Portland to Trinidad.
Did you get to drive through redwood trees?
Yes, we did. Okay, let me tell you about these God trees, nigga. Oh my goodness.
Fun fact, I was born in Redwood City, so it's just I was born with nothing but redwoods around.
I have never, I know this is not the most like boisterous episode of Jaden XD, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I have never experienced a feeling like that being amongst them damn trees.
It's great, isn't it?
The earth sign jumped out. Do you realize? We started driving through those trees and I was like, and they just start getting slightly bigger and bigger and bigger and we're driving and we're like, whoa, nigga, look at that motherfucker thing. Poor Noah.
Yeah.
Me and Trisha couldn't even help it. We was like, that. Look at that fucking tree. They are. You have never seen
thousands
trees.
of years old.
You've prehistoric trees. You have never seen trees like this in your life.
They're so pretty.
We drove through the redwoods, and the thing about it is, we wanted to actually hit Trinidad during the daylight. Right? We wanted to make sure we saw the redwoods, and then also we didn't know what the fuck we were driving into. So our plan was to leave Portland at like 6 a.m. But again, parenting and planning vacations is exhausting. It is exhausting. So that very last night, we were like, all right, we're going to go to bed. We're going to go to bed at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then we're going to get up at like 4 something so that we can be on the road 6 o'clock. No. We hit the road.
Sorry.
Oh, civil rights. Your civil rights.
My civil rights is showing. No! Oh my God, what are we? Oh, damn it. Oh, I feel like Scarlett, and Scarlett takes a tumble.
Oh, that table. That poor table. Was she all right after that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She was all right. She was on Tyra.
Was she?
She was.
Oh, Scarlett. She was like, I'm going to put on these wedges and I'm going to perform for you niggas.
Yeah. She said, listen, that's what I miss when B. Scott used to make videos, because B. Scott's reaction to them, she'd be like, look at her little shoes, look at her little shoes. Sing, Scarlett.
B. Scott's reaction video to Scarlett Takes a Tumble will forever be one of the best.
Yeah.
Ooh, shit. Okay.
Oh, man. So you made it to
so we were tired of
Trinidad.
shit. We was tired of shit, but we were like, all right. We ended up leaving Portland at... Oh, and then, okay, let's talk. You want to talk about some parent shit?
Mm-hmm.
So we get out of the hotel. We check out of the hotel like 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. We're like, all right, we're going to bust this out. Oh, we need to make a quick stop at Target, right? I needed to get a couple water bottles. We didn't know what the fuck was in Trinidad, but it didn't look like much. So we were like, we need some new water bottles and like just a couple of snacks because we're about to be on the road for 7 hours and all of those things or whatever. So we go to Target, and me and Noah run in because this is downtown Portland, and downtown Portland looks very different from the other parts of Portland. It looks like L.A. Yeah. Looks like L.A. So, yeah, then I hope there's some things happening in Portland because they need some help. There needs to be some help. So me and Noah run into the Target, right? I'm gonna get her a little notebook and one of those pens where you can switch all the colors so she can like draw and like make notes of her trip and whatever. You know, I'm just trying to find little car activities for her, water bottles, and I'm gonna get some snacks.
Silent activities.
Yeah. There was not any silence this entire trip.
Oh, listen, I saw the stories, honey. Your girl was out here. She was having the time of life.
And
okay?
and it is not a myth that kids ask you every 5 fucking minutes. Hers is not a "Are we there yet?" It's "How much longer?" I'm like,
No.
Are we there yet?
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 literally 10 minutes less than what I just told you. Like, you just asked me 7 minutes ago, and I told you we were 3 hours and 42 minutes away. Now we are 3 hours and 32 minutes away. But there was no silence. But we go into the Target, and I'm getting, we're running around. Oh, that's another thing I needed, a car mount, because for our rental car, because we were like, oh shit, we're not in our own car. There's we need to get the little adapter thing so we can plug them up. Mm-hmm. Both of us can charge the phones, and a car mount so we can like navigate safely. Which also was cool because as I drove through the redwoods, I flipped the camera around and turned the video on and took some footage of like driving through the redwoods. Mm-hmm. So that was fun. But we get into the Target, and what happens? I have to poop. Of course you got to poop in the Target. Like, we just left the hotel. I ask her every time before we go, do you need to go to the bathroom? Try to poop. And she's like, I don't have to, but we still try. We get to the Target. I have to poop. I'm like, okay. And she has no shame about yelling it to the store or to anybody around.
Yeah, kids don't really have shame. They don't develop shame until like puberty.
No, and I'm hoping that she doesn't really develop too much of it, but just maybe a little bit more.
Just all you need is a smidgen.
Just a little more, because so the one beautiful thing I will say about downtown Portland's Target is that they have it locked up behind 2 or 3 doors, so it is not accessible to the public. And it is clean. Because I don't know what you call that. Is there a public bathroom phobia? Does that have a name? Let's look it up.
It probably do. I don't, I have I don't like using public bathrooms too.
We have parusis.
The fear of using public restrooms.
Paruresis. Paruresis.
I don't know.
Paruresis, however the fuck you say this, is the fear of public toilets without any medical cause.
Mm-hmm. So it can't be considered a phobia because it's not necessarily medical or anything like that.
Right.
Well, I don't know. That sounds weird.
Well, some people call it a bashful bladder or a shy bladder. I don't have that. I won't go use this shit. I'm not. I don't want to walk in here. I don't want to do this. And I make myself pee at the airport because I know this is a lot of information. Sorry, but I make myself go at the airport, because I be on long flights and shit. Because it has to be an emergency for me to go on a plane.
Yeah.
And like when I tell you an emergency, nigga.
Have you ever had a shit on a plane before?
Never in my I don't. Where's the wood? Where is the wood? Never in my black ass life. And guess who won't?
Listen, I said the same thing until it had to happen, nope. And I was like, you know what? I have a new level of like. I don't know. I was also in a bad place in my life, so I was like, this really is rock bottom. Like, I have to shit in an airplane.
That is rock bottom.
Like, it's like a
oh, no, the only one that could be worse is you having a shit on a bus.
I've had to do that, too. I had to do that, too. Did I tell you the time when I had to, when the white man had a seizure on the Greyhound, and I was right in, like, Newark?
I have one worse. What happened? Hold on. What happened with yours?
The worst part was the guy who had the seizure and I was stuck on the highway. But yeah, I had to. It was May 25th, 20. I want to say 2018 or something. Either way, I had a speaking engagement in Philly, and so I was with friends. Charles and Brooke and Sean and Rod, a whole bunch of other people. And we had a bunch of wings and drank beforehand and then went to Wawa and I balled out. So, of course, I had like a whole bunch of food I had no business eating. And it was late at night and I was on a Greyhound. And, you know, they just let anybody on Greyhound, honey. I know. There's no kind of screening or whatever. It's just...
I told you about my Greyhound trip to Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I sat next to that recovering meth addict who was on her way to Seattle.
See? All different walks of life.
But she bought all my food. Anyway, keep going. It was weird.
See? Yeah, see? So, but yeah, I had to go on the thing, and I'll tell you, it was a humbling experience. I was like, you know what? You know, this goes out, you know, I support the troops, you know what I mean?
One time, I was headed to D.C. on the megabus. And we what is it? The Delaware Bridge? What is it? Is that what it's called? Over the Delaware River?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody was attempting to jump. And we were stuck on the highway, like at a standstill to where you could get off the bus and walk around for like 8 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And this was the one trip I didn't get no food ahead of time. I was like, I'll be all right. I'll go to sleep when I get to DC. I'm going to get there early. I'll just grab something. Didn't have no food. Didn't have nothing. I'm not going to tell you the outcome of what happened. They didn't jump.
That's all that matters. I'm glad they didn't
you're right.
jump.
That's all that matters.
I'm glad they didn't. I mean,
yes.
you know.
No, you're
in the grand
absolutely
scheme
right.
of things.
You know, yes. Let me shut the fuck up now. Just be quiet. I'm just gonna be quiet.
No, I mean, same thing with the guy who had the seizure on the bus. I was like, mind you, I've been on situations on buses where niggas have seizures. Am I the seizure whisperer? Because let me tell you something. Because I was on the bus in the Bronx, and I worked on Tinton Avenue, and you know there's no train except for the Prospect. But that was right after I got robbed or mugged.
Yeah.
So therefore I was doing a different way. So I made sure to take the bus, you know, down to 149th and 3rd Avenue. On the bus, it's crowded. You know, it's the Bronx. Everybody has like, you know, an attitude and 3 chickens with them.
Yeah.
So it's like,
shut up.
It's really
Chinese
just like an event. Yeah, it's just a lot. And so here comes this man on the bus, and he is like, you know, just taking up space, just being or whatever. Then all of a sudden, somebody gives up their seat, and it's crowded. It's just a big deal. All of a sudden, he starts to shake it, and all of a sudden, it's just like, ew.
Oh, no.
And he's just shivering. And I was like, you know what? Not today.
Did I ever tell you about the little girl who had a seizure in my parents' pool?
Oh, my God.
And I had to save her? Nigga.
No.
Oh, my God. So, my parents bought their first house, right? They bought their first house. And it was an old house. Like, it had an old pool. I think it was built in the 60s or the 70s or something. They said the pool had a dead cat in it.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, we're gonna fix this up, okay? You want to talk about a property couple?
Okay,
that's my parents.
Okay, up and coming. You know, for
these
a young
niggas,
couple starting out.
Oh no, this was not a young couple starting out. I was good and almost grown. But yeah, nigga, I did not live there hardly any time with them. So They bought this house with a pool or whatever. They fixed it up. They turned the garage into a master bedroom. Their master bedroom they turned into the guest room so that it had its own bathroom. They took a patio and enclosed it and made a little gym. They did all this at a house they bought in the hood, nigga. They just bought a house in a cul-de-sac and said, we're going to get our life. So turned the garage into the master bedroom with these like custom closets and custom bathroom, and it just beautiful, exposed brick. My father planted bamboo all on the perimeter of his backyard so he could swim naked, drained the whole pool, had it redone or whatever, and filled it back up, like got the system redone, did all of that, right? They hooked this shit up, built an outdoor kitchen for my mother, like hooked this shit up. I'm so mad they sold that damn house. But that's another story. So it was one time like after Katrina, and like we had a bunch of family who was here, who was in Houston from New Orleans, and my parents were having they were having a cookout or whatever. So they were having a cookout and they were making food and people were swimming and like having a good time. And I think a lot of the adults were inside like making drinks and doing shit like that or whatever. And so it was the kids outside swimming in the pool. And the pool was a 10-foot pool. It had a diving board. It had all of that. Like they made sure that shit was together. So I come to visit, like to come say, hey, what's going on? I had just come from getting my hair done. This is when I was still getting the flat iron. So I had just come from getting my hair done because I was going to a party with my friends and my cousins from New Orleans that night. And it was like a whole weekend thing. And so I go outside, I'm fully clothed, hair just done. And the kids are playing in the pool. So I say hey to the kids or whatever. And then one adult who was out there who couldn't swim was like, that little girl has been down there for a second. Ugh. So I was like, I look, and they're all still playing. So I was like, all right, they good. Then I look again, and I was like, oh shit, she has been down there for a second. I have to go to the 10-foot, fully clothed, jump down to the bottom. Pull a body out of the water that is unconscious. That is the deadest of weight, even a 10-year-old. Had to pull her out, and she was tall. Had to pull her out of the pool. So I'm already swimming and fully clothed down to the 10-foot. Come to find out, she had a seizure in the pool.
Oh my gosh!
She had a seizure, and if he hadn't seen her go down, it was like she went down there, because they were playing a game where they were seeing how long they could hold their breath, kid shit in the pool. But he was like, yeah, something don't seem right. And I had just come and had to jump in and pull that little girl out the pool, and we had to do CPR, call the ambulance, all that other stuff. She had a seizure in the pool and floated down to the 10-foot.
Dang.
And I just got my hair done. Sorry. No, she was fine after that.
The important moral of the story is that you had
just got my hair done. That really is it, though.
Oh my gosh! So you made it to Trinidad.
So we made it to Trinidad,
California.
James, and it is. So we made it there. When we got in, it was like an hour. After it had gotten dark, so we had to drive in the dark for like an hour, and there ain't hardly any lights in nigga.
Yeah.
Redwood trees at night.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, these niggas are going to walk up to this highway and talk to me.
Yeah. Everybody's grabbing the wheel off.
You driving through it, it's just like, ooh.
I'm in Halloween. I'm in Holiday Forest for the Nightmare Before Christmas.
I was just, all I kept doing as I was driving was saying, thank you, Spirit, thank you, trees, for allowing me to drive through you safely.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. When we went hiking I'll get to it. But anyway, so we get into Trinidad or whatever. And then on top of that, we're not just in Trinidad. We're in one of them landings or peaks or whatever the shit when they got them little neighborhoods that they like that be off the beaten path. Mm-hmm. So we're driving down this like this gravel road, but the little cottage that we had was right off the ocean. It was right off the ocean. You could see the Pacific, and it was beautiful. And it was like a real misty kind of town. Like it wasn't like a beach town in the sense where it's hot, but it's a beach town where like the kids are surfing and it's real misty and just like beautiful and like very scenic. But
it's
we couldn't
typically
see shit.
colder up there.
It's cold. It's colder. So we were like, all right, nigga, we can't see shit. You should have seen Tristan trying to pull the damn bags out of the car and shit. This nigga, so he bought us knives for this trip. He was like, so we driving this California Oregon border, and he's like, we driving down the coast. I'm gonna get us some knives. So this nigga bought a hunting machete that comes in like a fucking belt thing. It's like he attaches it to his belt. It's got a holster and shit. Like it don't even fold. Like it's a nigga. It's a. What I like to say is it could fillet a nigga, and then my knife could debone a nigga. So I have the fold up shit that I could just like gut a nigga like a fish real quick. He has the big joint where he could fillet your body in half. So I packed that in our check-in luggage. So he kept that on him everywhere we went. And keep that thing on me.
Yeah, it's very survivor of him.
Oh yeah, very much so. He bought camping pants and all kinds of stuff. He had a compass. But so when he was trying to pull the luggage out and we were in Trent and there's no fucking lights except for the lights on the house, this nigga kept his hand on his knife the whole time. Because we would see these fucking signs and be like, watch out for elk. Moose, nigga, needy leaks. Like, watch out for Wendy Williams. She might come out the redwoods. Like, so he kept his hand on his knife and was pulling the luggage out, like looking behind. He was like, let me tell you something. This ain't Brooklyn. And I don't know this shit like this. But we got in the cottage and it was super, super, super cute. It was super cute. Was no fucking food. So we had to drive 20 minutes past the cottage into McKinleyville, California, the place I was trying to avoid, which was the next town. And that was the only place where we were able to obtain food at 1 a.m. And that was from the Carl's Jr.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like, I do not want to eat this, but I'm gonna have
you gotta do what you gotta do.
I had to do what I had to do. Like it was 1 o'clock in the morning. There was literally no food whatsoever. There was nothing is open past 6:30 p.m. in Trinidad, California. Yeah. So, and then we pulled up to the supermarket and immediately pulled out of the parking lot. We was like, nope, we not going inside of here. They don't look right. We were the only black people everywhere we went. Everywhere we went, we were the only black people in Trinidad. And then when we pulled into McKinleyville, I think I saw 2 black people, and they still got a Chinese buffet that is called the Oriental Buffet.
Oh,
yeah, in McKinleyville. So that tells you exactly. I was like, oh, y'all have to do better.
Big yikes.
Yeah, it was right over by the Round Table Pizza and the Carl's Jr. So you know what I did?
Imperial. You went to the Round Table?
No, because they weren't open. But when I pulled up to the Carl's Jr. and I got to the window, the little boy who worked the window looked othered. I don't know if he was Latino or if he was, indigenous, because there's
he was just a BIPOC.
But he was BIPOC. Yes, I hate that word. And
so do I, but I don't know how else to.
I'm not doing it for black people, I'll tell you that.
No. And
I'm not doing it for indigenous, but if you don't know, yes, then you're going to have to be BIPOC.
Because I don't want to just say brown.
Right. That's why I say othered.
Yeah.
I don't
colored. We should just go back to being colored.
Let's be colored again. I'm with the shit. He was a little colored boy.
Yeah.
That will not go over. Bring colored back.
Yes, bring colored back.
So I asked him. I got up to the window and I was like, "Excuse me, Do you know anything about a particular meeting at a Taco Bell Tuesday?
Oh my god.
Tristan was like, "Oh, come on, chill." I was like, "We need to know where we at." Nigga. He was like, "Chill out." I was like, "I need to know." So the boy goes, "No, I don't know anything about that. And I haven't heard anything about it." And I was like, "You ever heard about a KKK rally at a Taco Bell on Tuesdays here in McKinleyville?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." Pulled off with my grilled chicken sandwich. But yes, we got into the cottage. Cottage was super cute. The next day we went hiking through the redwoods, and that was a magical, just what I told you about driving through. Like it was that on 1,000.
This is the land of the giants, the country of the big trees, and men of a size to match. This is the home of the treetop daredevils, who work and play among the kings of the forest. Here in the Northwest is the land of high adventure amid the tall timber.
Those trees, being amongst those trees, standing next to I don't even know how to explain it. Nigga, if you've never thought about going to the redwoods, think about it and go do it. Because those sequoias are something astonishing.
Yeah.
We knew we was on native land, nigga. We felt it.
Yeah. You know, when as a kid, outside of just camping in general, like on school trips, we'd like go to Santa Cruz Mountains and like just be in the redwoods and stuff like that, and just it's a good time. It smells so good.
It smells amazing. It's like being in the middle of Jurassic Park, because it's like you not only do you have these giant skyscraper sequoia trees, but you've got ferns all over. Like it's like foresty, and you've got ferns, and you've got all this plant
snails
life
and all this stuff.
Yeah, and snails and slugs and worms, and you've got spiders, and you can some of the trees have been hollowed out by the fires, which is really sad. Yes. But it shows you how sturdy they are, because they are still standing, and you can stand in some of those hollowed out trees, which is woo, that is crazy. So we said thank you before we entered, and we said thank you as we were leaving. Thank you for it, because, you know, them white people just be hiking all up and through. I was hoping one of those ferns might snatch them. But
you got to respect the earth.
You got to respect the earth. You got to respect where you at. So we said thank you to whoever's whatever spirits are in here. Thank you for allowing us to be a part. The spirit of those trees was beautiful. And you could literally shoot Jurassic Park in it.
Alan, this species of Variformin's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing isn't one of this thing.
I want to say there's a part somewhere not too far from where they did film parts of Jurassic Park, Tristan said, and he wanted to go hike through there, but it was like a 7.5-mile hike, which would have been too much for Noah. So we kept it on a more basic level, but it was just that was incredible. That was my favorite part of the entire trip. Anytime I ran into these trees, I had to tip my hat and just like stand back for a second and show some respect, because it was incredible. Yes. That was beautiful. And of course, Noah's 8, so she's just like, damn, these trees are big. But it's like, that's it. Yeah. She didn't really understand. But me and Tristan were like, whew, this is. We did let her TikTok in front of one of them, though.
Yeah.
We were like, you got to. She wanted to TikTok in front. We were like, which kid gets to go and TikTok in the redwoods? Like, go ahead, TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so cute.
Just one little video, but we made, she was able, we stopped and appreciated and took it in, and we tried to keep electronics out of it most of the time or whatever, but we let her bust a little TikTok in front of the tree. So we did that, and then in that same day after we left, because we did that early in the morning, we went to breakfast at this Trinidad Bay grill. Only niggas in there. That was where, and most everybody was really nice, and they kept staring just out of like fascination.
Sure.
And then there was a couple groups, though, a couple families where it was just like staring. And so I would just stare back And I found out that when Dustin and Fran and Asante were having a meeting before Friend Zone while we were gone, Dustin told Fran, he was like, Jade the wrong nigga to be up in a sundown town.
Yeah.
And I am. Because they would stare and I would just literally stare back. I would just look at them and we'd just be looking at each other. And it was to the point where Noah noticed. Like, it was a dude who was inside the restaurant because we would only sit outside. And it was a dude who was inside and he was like turned all the way around. And just like staring, and he had on this Michael Jordan shirt, but the shirt said Michael Jordan. Like, remember how Bruh Man printed them Woody Hutton shirts?
Yeah,
it said Michael, and I don't even know what that means, but I hated it. And he was in there, and he was like turned around, and he was just staring. He was just staring. Then this little white girl comes up to us who works at the restaurant. And she's like, I love you guys' hair. And we're like, thank you. You know, we got that the whole time. Then she goes, my mom's African American. And I said, what? And Tristan was like, she got something else going on, but I didn't pick up on it. But the way she's like, my mom is African American. And I was like, is she? Okay. And she was like,
did she say it like she was proud, or
yes.
like did she say it like her mother had cancer?
No, she said it like she was proud. But like I don't ever get to see any real life black people. Her mother is probably mixed with a white mama. That's what I picked up on. And then the daddy is white, and so the little girl is just white with curly hair, but like curly white hair. I'm sorry. Am I making sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. She's
she just got like a little pink, a hue of pink, but it's not really much else there.
She that racist word that you know, when you got a couple.
She wasn't even that. She was like a little white girl with slightly white curly hair.
Oh,
you know, where it just didn't hang straight. It had some little curls to it, but it wasn't like like it was a little white girl.
Oh,
so when she said that to us, I was like, her mother is half black. That's what's happening here. Her mother is half black and married a white man, and her mother is half black and looks very white. So she was like, yeah, my mom's, and we're always looking for like people to braid hair. And I was like, well, we can't help you, baby, because we're not from Trinidad. I don't know what to tell you. But I had a delicious crab omelet with grilled jalapenos and the freshest avocado ever. And hash browns, nigga. And they sold their own pepper sauce. And then they had a coconut macaroon latte in there.
Really?
They had a little coffee bar. Oh, it was. I enjoyed the Trinidad Grill in the Bay or whatever the shit is called. And that's shout out to Crush Global. That shout out to Kristen because that was on her list. And then after that, we went. So there's this big rock that overlooks the Pacific Ocean. And, you know, they have the beach in Trinidad. So we drove to the beach. It's a cold beach, though. No, it was a little warmer. It was a little warm during the day. It was okay, but it wasn't like chilling your bathing suit.
Yeah, Northern California beaches are very cold.
Yeah. So the water was freezing, but we went hiking on the rock overlooking the beach. And so when you enter, you don't even realize what you're about to get into. Nigga, soup foresty and ferny. And poison ivy and poison oak, and like it looks like a mystical, like the secret garden. You got these arches of trees and branches that have literally grown to form these like arches that you walk through. It's beautiful. It looks like a little mystical forest, but it's literally a big ass rock that overlooks the beach. So we went hiking up that. And you've got little parts that are like real narrow, and you have to be real careful that you don't brush against the poison oak and stuff. And then you go out and you are on this cliff that overlooks the Pacific Ocean.
That's pretty.
It was pretty. It was such a pretty, like, Trinidad was really pretty. So while there were zero niggas whatsoever, It was very pretty. So we did that. It was a lot of like outdoorsy activities. And then when we hiked back down, we went on to the actual beach, took our shoes off. Then they got big ass crag rocks on the beach that you can like climb up and sit on. So Noah played in the water, like just like the edge with, you know, just her feet in it. Tristan did his qigong and like, you know, and then he came over and we sat and we watched Noah play and run around. And it was really pretty. And then went back to the cottage. Then after we left Trinidad, we drove another 7 hours and some change down to Monterey.
Yeah.
To go whale watching.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Yes, I have.
You whale watched? Did you see any whales?
Yes. I was 9.
Okay.
Or 10. I was a kid. I wasn't like an adult. I was a kid. I wasn't a baby. I was like in the 4th or 5th grade.
Okay. Okay, fair.
We went on a field trip.
Oh, wait. Y'all went on a field trip whale watching?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a cool field trip. See, you little Northern California people get to do all that fun. I see now why you say you did a lot of outdoorsy activities growing up.
Yeah. It was super accessible. Like, I could either, like... even in the 8th grade, we went on a field trip to go snowboarding. And so we went to like the ski lodge or whatever. Yeah.
I have questions about you growing up but we haven't gotten there yet. So we drove 7.5 hours down to Monterey to go whale watching. So we met my cousins who were doing their own family road trip across country from DC. I think I told you all that. And they went to like North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana. They went to Yellowstone and they went to Yosemite, and they like rented an RV and went across country like that. So we just so happened to be meeting up in Monterey at the same time. So that's when we planned the whale watching tickets and took the kids whale watching, which was incredible. I saw like 10 whales. And 2 of them breached, nigga. They jumped out of the water and we saw the heads. So 2 of them breached. And that was also magical.
It's
I was like,
fun, but it stinks.
Oh, it smells. Oh, you want to know what stinks? Motherfucking, what's them things called? Not otters. What's the other ones?
Sea lions.
Them niggas.
The ones that
be swimming with the whales.
Yeah.
Ooh, them niggas
When
stink.
y'all went to San Francisco, y'all went to the Pier 39 and they were all out there chilling?
So we didn't, I'll talk about San Francisco. I'll get to it. But we experienced enough sea lions in Monterey for us to have our fill, I think.
Yeah.
Of Wharf and
Wharf. That is a smell. Yeah, Wharf.
Wharf and Pier.
Wharf and Pier.
I think we had enough in Monterey. But that whale watching was beautiful because, you know, you see the sea lions, they swim with them. And then you look for the flocks of birds because that's where the whales are because they looking for the fish too. And all them niggas is just out there together. And they swim in pairs. So we're seeing 2 whales at a time. And yeah, I think we saw like 8 or 10 whales while we were out there. And with 2 of them breaching, that was just beautiful and fantastic. So we did that, and that was fun to be able to do. That was fun to be able to do with my cousins, and be able to do. And for like Noah was super happy to have kid energy. You know, you be with your parents for a couple of days, you get tired of looking at them niggas, like. Yeah. And she's the only kid, so she has to keep herself entertained. So she was happy to be around kid energy. So we did that. And then the craziest part, so we get off and we go to eat and then we go drive down to Pfeiffer Beach, which is way off the beaten path in Big Sur. And
yes, Big Sur.
We drove down.
Love it.
After the whale watching, after we ate, we drove down to Big Sur and went to Pfeiffer Beach, which you got to go. That trail was even more narrow to drive through than driving down the little trails in Trinidad to get back to our cottage. That was some crazy shit. Like, that's some, like, I don't want to be caught back here after dark because I can't see shit. Which also
driving up the coast is scary.
Ooh, nigga. And then and because it's ocean, it's forest, it's and it's racist, and it's
yes.
It's like all the nature at once. It's like a nature-gasm, nigga.
Yeah.
I was in a nature gasm all trip. So we're driving, when you drive in Big Sur, the drive to Big Sur is hands down one of the prettiest drives I've done in my life.
Also the most dangerous because people definitely just drive off the cliff on Highway 5.
Sure do, which is why we were going 30 miles an hour.
Yeah,
and when
it's
niggas
like,
thought we were going too slow, we were like, you can kill yourself going around us if you want to, but we ain't going no faster.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, though. I mean, one of the prettiest drives I've ever done because you look over to the left and it's mountains and forest, and you look ahead of you and it's mountains, and you look to the right of you and it's the Pacific Ocean, and it's like picturesque with the waves crashing against the rocks. And like, we were like, this is like orgasmic how pretty this shit is. So we drove to Pfeiffer to watch the sunset. And that was a cold ass beach. And then we left out of there. And so, you know, we're not staying in Monterey. We ended up, our last Airbnb we got in Mountain View because we said that's going to put us.
Sorry, I had to turn on my computer.
Oh, you're good. We said that's going to be a nice hub. It's like an hour and a half away from Monterey. It's like 45 minutes away from San Francisco, 30 minutes outside of Oakland. We can do a lot of exploring in this like central location. So that was our final Airbnb in Mountain View. And so my cousins were like, okay, where are you all staying tonight? Because Noah was riding in the van with them and stuff, and we were figuring everything out. They were like, we're staying in Mountain View. So we were like, oh, shit, okay, because they said Silicon Valley originally, and we were like, okay, that could be anywhere, but at least we know we're not far from each other. So we're like, okay, all right, cool. Like, you all are in Mountain View, too? Oh, bet. Noah can ride back in the van. Like, they can still, like, have a little time together.
And
so
Mountain
I
View
said...
was like a street, so...
You said what?
Mountain View is like a street.
It's not
so
big at all.
Yeah.
So I said, give me the address where you all are staying so I can see how far it is from the Airbnb. She started telling me the address, nigga. I was looking at the Airbnb reservation. It's the same building.
Yeah.
It's the same. I was like, if that is not spirit. So they came on their road trip all the way from DC in an RV. We came and did our trek that I've been telling you all. And we ended up in the exact same building, 2 floors apart in Mountain View.
That's so awesome.
So they were only there for another day or so. So we ended up getting up and doing the hike in Mountain View where you can overlook Stanford and see the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, and you can see San Francisco and you can see the mountains, and it's really pretty. So we did that the next morning before they got on the road to continue their road trip. And then we went to the Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Liddy, I know your girl had a good time.
So we got there and we left.
Oh, you dropped her off.
Well, no. Oh, hell no. Because so remember, most of the activities we've been doing have been outside.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, and they require masks. They make you wear masks inside, and they tell you to pull it up over your nose and all of that. Nigga, we got to that damn aquarium, though, and it was so many fucking people.
Oh.
We were like, so I went up to security, and I said, so listen, I can't do this. I was like, this is overwhelming for me. Even Tristan was overwhelmed, and he's not like me. So I was like, this is overwhelming for me. And they said, so listen, big old white man named Kurt, shout out to Kurt, security at the aquarium. He said, I completely understand. He was like, come back, leave, and come back at like 4:15, even though they had a hard close at 5. He was like, come back 4:15, because what you're getting right now are all the early people who are still here and all the late people who have just come. He's like, if you come like 4:15, a bunch of them will have cleared out. Because we couldn't even comfortably walk up to any of the exhibits or any of like nothing. It was just overwhelming. I was like, and with all this Spirit JetBlue shit, I can't fuck with this. So we left and we came back 4:15, and it was exactly what he said. He's like, if it's still overwhelming, we'll give you your money back, because I spent money on them tickets. But it was not. We were able to go in and we breezed through the aquarium and saw everything really comfortably, because he was right. Everybody had cleared out. incredible. The aquarium is so fucking beautiful. The jellyfish, all the oh my God, they have so many windows of jellyfish.
Yeah,
it's so cute. So we had a good time there. Noah did have a good time, and then we balled out in the gift shop. You know, we on vacation, so we have to. And I knew I balled out when I got to the counter, and the man was like, "Oh, are you a teacher or something?" He's like, "Can I give you a teacher discount?"
Yes.
I was like, my husband is, because I guess, you know, most people walk up, they buy a t-shirt or a little, nigga, I bought the reusable. I said, how much of this is donated to cleaning the ocean? So I bought the reusable straws and silverware packs, and I bought me a hoodie and bought, Noah wanted, you know, she bought like, they got their own version of Monopoly called like Sharkopoly or some shit like that. So we bought that and like, you know, it's a once kind of vacation thing for her. And it's not like we're going to go do that all the time. We're going to do different things. So you're going to have little memories and experiences from each place.
Right.
So that was really beautiful and really nice. And then we drove back to Big Sur to go to this restaurant called Nepenthe, which has been there for 72 years. It is not black owned. FYI, nothing.
I didn't think it would.
This portion of the trip was. That was hard.
Ain't no black shit until you get to Oakland.
Yeah, exactly.
Barely.
So we went to this. It's called Nepenthe, and it overlooks Big Sur. The restaurant. It's been there for 72 years. It's owned by a family. It's not an extensive menu, but the shit they have is delicious. That motherfucking ribeye, I had it twice, and Tristan was like, love, you're only supposed to consume so much beef. You know, he don't eat the beef and stuff. And I was like, let me explain something. I will go back home and take some diatomaceous earth, and I will do as much as I can to exfoliate my system. But this motherfucking ribeye is getting consumed again, and I will be having steak fajitas on another day. Thank you. So I had that, and they had this Manhattan clam chowder. Noah, your girl, no, it was delicious. It's a brothy tomato-based clam chowder.
Yeah, I know. I hate Manhattan clam chowder.
Oh no, it was flavored and seasoned. Noah wanted 2 bowls.
Yeah, I don't really like a lot of tomato-based soups. It's strange. I know.
Even if it's not thick.
Yeah, like like when I went to that chowder thing that they used to that chowder restaurant that they used to have on 60th Street. And I had it. You know, they have really good chowder, but it just wasn't my thing.
Oh no, this Manhattan clam chowder was it, honey. It was delicious. I too wanted 2 bowls, but I had that ribeye coming. But Nepenthe is good. They don't have an extensive menu, but they're just delicious, and it's just yummy, and it's just the view, like getting the sun setting over Big Sur while you're eating. You're literally eating elevated up in the mountains and watching, and you can see the ocean and see the sun. It's the most beautiful view I think I've ever had from a restaurant. So we went back there to eat. Tristan almost got sprayed by a skunk because it's in the middle of wilderness. But he was a real nigga about it and was like, he did the real nigga no when the skunk was literally like 10 feet from him, and he was like, because it had like come up the hill, it had climbed up the mountain, it was getting ready to climb into the restaurant. But that was delicious, and that was an experience. I hope this is not boring you all to death.
Oh no, I'm interested. I'm like, I'm gonna say it's the audience. I'm interested. I'm like, girl, what else happened?
Well, you my audience. Sorry, y'all. So we did that, and then we went back to Mountain View, and we were done with, you know, the Monterey scene after that. So we in the Big Sur scene, we had done all of that, and that was beautiful. We had to hurry up and get out of there though. Our server was like, "So are you all staying in Big Sur?" And we were like, "No." She's like, "Okay, so they're closing the bridge tonight, so I just have to have you all out of here by this time to give you." She was an amazing server. Her name was Rose, but she was like, "I need to have you all on the road and out of here at this time so that you're not stuck in Big Sur," which would have been terrible until the morning. So we had to hurry up and get out of there. That kind of life was interesting. Like that kind of stuff was. It was like, oh, we have to hurry up and get dinner by 6 p.m. because everything's gonna close and we ain't got no options.
Otherwise, we're trapped on the Sur until
ooh, nigga,
morning.
So So that was actually like perfect timing. So we did that. That was beautiful. And then was like the Bay leg of the trip. So we went back to Mountain View. That's where we stayed. You know, we did like a day. We had like a day of downtime where we did Whole Foods and you know, like got pedicures and just kind of like did stuff locally because we were so tired and we had been activitying so hard. But and then we seen this black man working at Whole Foods and he was so happy to see us.
Yeah, ain't no niggas working like Sunnyvale, Mountain View.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, it was us and the nigga who worked there, and he was like, "How you all doing today?" We were like, "We good, my brother. How you doing today?" Like,
yeah.
it was very
That's what
black
my cousin
and very nice.
Because my cousin lives in Sunnyvale, Mountain View. It's the same city to me.
Okay,
but
okay.
She's of course black, but she was like, "Ain't no niggas that live." And my cousin Tiffany, like her mother and father, all live from Sunnyvale, Mountain View area. So like, you know,
it's a lot of BIPOC, but it ain't no niggas.
Right. That's what I said. It shows there once was a lot, but they have moved out. And of course, my cousin works in tech and stuff like that. So that's clearly why
I know tech has moved it out, and I also can see where, like the building that we stayed in, which was technically it was an apartment complex, but it looked like a business. Those apartments are for the company. People.
The company made it for those people.
Mm-hmm. And then Airbnb, some of those developers decided to get in on it, and they were like, "There's going to still be people who want to travel, so we're gonna grab some of these for Airbnbs."
Yeah, there's a couple of Airbnb buildings out there too.
Oh, like Airbnb buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, be warned. Make sure that you can smoke in them. Okay, even on the patio.
You can't really smoke a lot of places in NorCal.
Not even on your patio.
Yeah.
We had a terrace, and when I found out I couldn't smoke on it, I was livid. So every day I would have to go down and either walk the streets or sit at the bus stop.
I mean, the great thing is every day is 75 degrees, so it's like, you know. It
was amazing. And I will go out there sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I go out there in the middle of the afternoon. You know, so it wasn't that bad. You know, just if you're going to go and do this, make sure you check and see if you're allowed to do that on your terrace. But, so we had our little downtime, and then we did a San Francisco day. I didn't want to do more than a day in San Francisco because I've done San Francisco and I'm good. And Tristan wasn't super hype. He was like, "Yeah, I want to go to the Frisco, home of Larry June." But outside of that.
And even then, I feel like Larry June's from South San Francisco, which is a completely different city than San Francisco.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's like driving up. It's like South San Francisco, Millbrae, and then San Francisco.
Okay.
San Bruno. It's like two or three towns until you get to actual San Francisco.
And are those more black?
No.
Oh, okay. So Larry June wasn't raised in a black neighborhood?
He probably was. He probably more so like. Well, I will say South San Francisco has a little bit more color folks.
Because he don't claim. He don't say Oakland.
He don't say Vallejo. He don't say Vallejo or.
He says Frisco.
Or, yeah, he's probably from like Hunts Point or whatever, like where Keisha Cole and Frankie, R.I.P. Frankie.
Frankie died?
Yes, girl.
When?
Yesterday.
What?
Or the day before yesterday. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! Rest in peace, Frankie.
On her birthday.
Oh my god!
I know.
Rest in peace, Frankie. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you did San Francisco.
So he got us tickets because we were like, what do we want? We didn't really want to go to the wharf. Like he has never been, but. Again, we did Monterey. We don't need to do no more wharfs and piers and bays. So,
I will say,
I know I've been. I know, but he wasn't excited about it.
Oh,
he was like, I don't want
what
no
I was
clam
going
chowder.
to say. Well, what I was going to say is, at one point when it's just a duo trip, I would suggest you and your husband go have dinner on the wharf at like the waterfront and shit like that. Like, those things are nice. I will say the stuff that's family friendly, you had a better experience down in Monterey.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we went. So we did the San Francisco MoMA.
She's pretty and nice and pricey. But yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's take a break.
Oh, yeah, let's take a break. We'll be right back with more summer vacation stories.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Night. Old child, young child, feel alright on a warm San Franciscan night. Angels sing.
And we're back.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about Jade's vacation. I'll tell you about mine briefly.
Sorry. Oh.
No, it's fine. All I did was got new glasses and spent way too much money, and I started drinking again for like a week.
What? Okay, yeah, I want to hear about that. So we go to San Francisco MoMA, beautiful. They had and they just so happen to have a Dred Scott exhibit right now, which has the letters actually blown up. They're huge in this room. If you don't know about the Dred Scott case, you should go look into it. It's yeah.
Who's the artist who did the exhibit?
Charles Gaines. Charles Gaines did it. So Charles Gaines did this Dred Scott exhibit, but what was so special about it was that Tristan had gone over the Dred Scott case with his students and had taken them to the courthouse where his granddaughter works and had an interview with his granddaughter and all of that. So it was just really, really beautiful timing that they had a Dred Scott exhibit there when we went. But I have to tell you all, the San Francisco MoMA is the worst fucking security I have ever experienced in any museum in my whole black ass life. And let me tell you something. We go to museums as a family. Like, that's something we do regularly. We go in multiple cities. We go here in New York. We go to museums. Them little ladies in that fucking museum followed us around.
Oh,
in multiple exhibits, not every single one, but multiple of them, enough to where it was uncomfortable and it was irritating as fuck, and I was over it. So we get into this one exhibit, which is about modern architecture, which was really cool. Noah is really big into architecture and engineering. She loves building shit. Like, she was inspired immediately, and they've done all of these built all these mini like apartment buildings and different things like that out of different mediums, right? Very, very cool exhibit. So she was loving it. This little lady is literally following us around this exhibit. First is her head turning everywhere we go in the room, okay? And then it's her literally following us to the point where I sat and watched many other people come into that room for that exhibit, and she did not lay an eye on them. So, you know, you don't want to be the person who's always claiming this or that all over the place, but I still deserve, I paid a lot of money to be up in here, and I deserve to have my experience.
Well, I'll ask, what was the race of the lady who was following you?
Oh, every single security guard who harassed us was Asian. Every single one. And I'd like to have a conversation about that in a minute. But, that's just what it was. They were all Asian. So she followed us around this exhibit.
That was going to be it.
Huh?
I figured that was going to be your answer.
So she followed us around this exhibit to the point where I walked up to her and I said, "Did you see me take something from one of these from one of these exhibits?" And she's like, "What? What?" And I said, "You have been following us around this fucking exhibit for the last 10 minutes, and I'm sick to death of it." I was like, I have my child right by my side. She's not touching anything. She's not bothering anything. We are in here. We deserve to have our experience and enjoy this. Leave us the fuck alone. I was like, all these other people, it is my job. I said, it is all these other people are coming up in this motherfucker. You need to lay an eye on them and leave us the fuck alone. I'm over it. So did that. I did it quietly, but I let her ass know exactly what time it was. So we go and we go across to another exhibit where there's another security guard. She was black, and she was very nice. How you all doing? You enjoying yourselves? She's like, did you see the architecture exhibit across the way? Like, it's amazing. And I said, oh, I did, and I just experienced your colleague who worked my motherfucking nerves. I was like, and I told her what happened. So she was like, I'm really sorry. Make sure you tell security, the head of security, about that. She was like, because that's not right. So she's the one who actually told us about the Dred Scott exhibit. We didn't even know before we got there. And so Tristan, was super hyped. So we go down to look at that, and we're looking at other things, and everybody else is fine. Then we go into another exhibit. And literally on the way out of it, this little lady, another one, comes up to us.
What?
And I don't even know what she was saying, but she comes up to us to the point where I was like, Miss, leave us alone. Leave us alone. Tristan was like, all right, let's move on to the next one. Like, I'm kind of sick of this shit at this point. So the final thing, we go through the last couple of ones. Nobody bothers us. Noah has to go to the bathroom. The museum's closing in like 10 minutes or whatever. So we're like, let's use the bathroom before we leave so we can drive back. We go to the bathroom. And, they're getting the announcements that the museum is closing. But it's a child. She gonna take her time. So I'm like, come on, Cookie. Like, we got to get out of here. She's like, I'm coming. The security comes in because they have to clear all the bathrooms. I understand that. And they're like, the museum's closing. I said, I know. My daughter's in the stall. I'm just waiting for her to come out. The lady comes back into the bathroom, I kid you not, 2 minutes later. I said, I am well aware that the museum is closing. My daughter is in the stall. I cannot make her go any faster. This lady goes, I said, oh, you the last motherfucker. You the last one. I said, I can't wait to go snitch on all of you motherfuckers. I said, get out of here. I was like, I know the museum is closing. My daughter will be done in a minute and we will leave out of this bathroom. But get out of here. She's 8. I went downstairs and went over to the information desk. I said, who do I need to speak to in the head of security? Because I have never experienced anything like this in my fucking life. So they bring somebody else over to talk to us. The white lady comes over and she's like, what's going on? This is completely unacceptable. Absolutely not. Let me get you over to Corey. Corey was the head of security. Amazing. Black man. 2 other security guards staring, just sitting there in the middle of the floor staring while I'm telling them what's going on. So I turned to them. I said, are you all getting ready to do anything to help this situation? Then get the fuck out of here. I'm tired of y'all looking at me in this goddamn museum. I'm sick of you all looking at my family like a motherfucking zoo animal. Get the fuck out of here. So they take us over to the side because they were like, yeah, let's get over to the side. So the black man comes out, Corey, and we tell him everything that's going on. And he was like, and Tristan goes, we should have gotten their names. And Corey goes, no, you shouldn't have had to have gotten their names.
Bingo.
And I was like, I know that's right. He's like, you shouldn't have had to do that because you shouldn't have had this experience. But I told him every single exhibit, where it happened. I told him what time. I was like, we've been in this museum for an hour. So all of this has been in the last hour that we've been harassed 3 different fucking times. I told him which bathroom we was in. I was snitching, nigga. I was singing, nigga. Kodak Black.
Yes.
Or what's that other little,
down.
not him. What's the other little snitchy one? What's the other little snitchy one?
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I was Tekashiing all over the place. I was singing them bitches. I was singing for them bitches all over the place. I was over it. So I have to say that we had an extremely, outside of the beautiful exhibits we saw, we had an extremely unpleasant experience at the San Francisco MoMA.
That's unfortunate.
That was probably the worst part of the whole trip, honestly, because I was pissed when I walked out of there. I was pissed. But then found this black-owned ice cream shop. The only black-owned ice cream shop in San Francisco called Miyako, Miyako. So we go there. I want to go support. And it's a little old black man working behind the counter. And I was like, do you own this? And he was like, me and my daughter, we own it. And I was like, all right, bet. I was like, good. I wanted to make sure this was actually black owned. Like, I looked you all up. We wanted to come show some support. So he was so sweet. He was like, I'm not charging your daughter for her ice cream. Like, and for you all, like, literally just give me $8. And I was like, $8? Nigga, here's 20. Like, bong. Thank you.
Wow.
Old, like, candy shop set up. Old ice cream. Very small. You can't eat in there, anything like that. But banana splits and sundaes and but it's a black owned shop, and it's a really sweet and special old staple, you can tell. And so I went to go post it because I wanted, people to support if they're in the area, and wanted to see if they had social, and they didn't. But I found an article where they were actually in danger of getting closed last year.
Oh no.
Because somebody broke in the shop and stole a bunch of shit and demolished it, or what? Not demolished it, but you know what I'm saying, vandalized it. There we go. Vandalized the shop and like broke the windows and stole some shit out of there. And this was at the same time like one of their freezers was going out, so they were already about to replace the freezer, but then they were about to have to replace this other stuff too, and they were going to close. And the community came together and crowdfunded in order to keep them open. And I found that out just looking that up, like trying to post them. And like, so if you all in the San Francisco area, only black owned shop in San Francisco, Miyako. So we went there, and that was beautiful. I loved meeting him. His spirit was so beautiful. It was just, that was really nice. And that was it. Like the next day we left.
Yeah, you enjoyed San Jose. I saw when you went to Golfland.
We went to Golfland. I'm so sorry. I left out your hometown.
Golfland is where my aunt who passed away when I was a kid, she used to take us there all the time. And my uncle who passed away used to take us there all the time in Mountain View.
You know how I know it's old?
I think that's Sunnyvale or something like that.
I think, I thought they said it was San Jose, but I don't know.
It's Mountain View, it's all
the same. It's like Flatbush, Ditmas Park.
Who
got it?
What?
So Tristan, we were just looking for an activity, like for Noah to have a little fun. So we did one San Jose day. We were like, it doesn't have to be, everything doesn't have to be redwoods and grand museums. Like we can just do some nice family shit where she'll have fun. So we go to the Rotary Play Garden, which was not there when XD was young. You can tell it's new. It's by the airport. But it's fun. It's a fun playground for kids, like, because they can do a lot of climbing. Like, it's a lot of climbing and, like, moving things while they climb. Like, it's like a fun playground. So we took her there. So if you're anywhere in the San Jose area, the Rotary Play Garden, we were the only black family on the playground. There was only one other white family, but we was the only black family. I had to note that everywhere we went. I was like, this is fucking fascinating, nigga.
Yeah, it's diverse. It says they got no niggas.
That's
in it.
it. Tristan was like, he's like, it's everybody else except niggas and white people.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm happy I'm not seeing no white people, but damn, there ain't no niggas either. So that was fun. So the Rotary Play Garden, and then we went to the mini golf where XD went as a kid, and we played golf. They have one of their little, you have all the holes, so they all have different themes. One of them is an Oriental theme. Another reason I knew this was old as shit. They need to change that. That dragon, and it's like
the dragon, and you have to get it through the thing. Yep.
So we did that because we did the easy
that
side
has
for
been
Noah.
There for 30 plus years.
You can tell. I didn't make it to La Vic, but I did go to I went to 2 Mexican restaurants, actually. I picked up food.
Oh, really?
Hold on. One of them is called, I don't know, starts with an A. But I went to one to get me some fajitas. And then shout out to the listener who responded on Twitter and told me about Luna, I think, downtown. I went and got me some homemade tortillas and some charo beans, nigga. And I took my feast back to the Airbnb. I got me 2 sides of charo beans. I love charo beans. So I got me some good ass fajitas. They let me take a margarita to go. And not from Luna, from the other spot. And then from Luna, I got my charo beans and my homemade tortillas. And I went home and made a meal. I was so happy to be amongst my people and get some good Mexican food. So did that, and then so that was our San Jose day. And then we did the drive-in. Our last night
yes,
was the drive-in.
I also saw, and I was like, that's the drive-in I used to go to as a kid,
really?
too.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, there's two. There's the one, the Capitol Expressway drive-in, and then there's the Capitol, whatever the other one you went to. Because I was being nosy, because I was looking at the map on Instagram, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's the other one we used to go to.
Yep, we went to and I remember you said you went to the drive-in.
Yeah, we used to go to that drive-in.
I went to sleep because Noah wanted to see... what's that new Marvel movie with Scarlett Johansson? Black Widow.
She wanted to Asian queen.
Yeah, I'm not right. Our appropriation queen next to Gwen Stefani and Madonna.
Barjo.
I had no interest in that whatsoever, so I went to sleep. I brought my Lambrusco, my cans of Lambrusco that I found at Whole Foods, and drank until I passed out in the car. Noah sat on the hood, though, and we had like blankets and pillows, our travel pillows and stuff like that. And her and Tristan sat outside, and I had the windows down. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience, and it was like a perfect, peaceful little ending to the night. And then on the way home, I drove, and everybody went to sleep. And I stopped at the Jack in the Box. I'm just gonna give you a little sourdough grilled chicken sandwich and some tacos. So I stopped at the Jack in the Box on the way, and that was the ending to the trip. It was a really nice trip.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed Northern California. Everybody wants to come to SoCal and yada, yada, yada. But NorCal is really wonderful and great.
I'd love it if more niggas went and explored through Northern California and just kind of blacked that up a little bit, because it really... Make it
black again.
Make it black again.
Because it used to be, let me tell you, like San Jose used to have its own Juneteenth festival. Okay?
Oh, wow.
And San Jose Jazz Festival, too. It was just wall-to-wall niggas.
I'm from Northern Cali and we gone off loudly. Blowing big bomb and we rep it proudly. We say the word hell is raining game, I tell ya. No need for an umbrella, if you got it, they gon' smell ya. Where Pac learned the game, Mac Dre was Cali living short. Got everybody saying, bitch, when we spit, where they hustle hard from...
I would really love to see more black people go out there and experience some of those things, because it was... a beautiful road trip. Like, we really had an amazing time and mapped it out really great. Me and Tristan worked together as a team. Let me tell you something. And at the end of it, we had to embrace and be like, nigga, we did that. Like, we made that happen. We did that. And it was just great. It was just I'm really grateful. So that was the summer break. Sorry if that bored you all to death.
No.
That was it. But wait, what you start drinking again, nigga? What?
Okay, so let me condense my week into like 10 minutes. So because I was going to go on a vacation. I remember I was trying to figure out how to meet you all. And I was like, well, that's going to be fucked up if I go this place and not see my own mother in the same state first. So
yes.
I said, okay, let me go see the doll. So I'm going, by the time you're listening to this, I will be with my mother and my grandmother. Right. So, and I said in order, because that's not necessarily a vacation so much as it's just, you know how it is. Vacations don't count when you go visit your mama.
No.
So, we decided to just have a staycation and stuff here. When I tell you outside is R-wording my pockets.
Oh, yeah.
Because, let me say, railroading my pockets. Yeah. That's a great term.
There you go.
Because let me tell you something. To blink, it costs $48.50 each time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like... it is ridiculous. So we decided, because, it's been exactly one whole year since we had, drink alcohol or whatever. Let's just celebrate and see what happens. So I got to be honest. With all the drinking I did this week, I don't miss it. I didn't miss it at all.
You're not really missing anything, friend.
And I trust me, I've had great drinks. I realize I'm not necessarily a Hennessy girl anymore, so that's not my thing. I realized that I'm back to clear liquors. And I've thought that was me earlier before I stopped drinking. It was like, let me go back to like vodka and gin or whatever, because like the heavier liquors just be too much. But if it's not wine, you know what I mean? But it's just like, all that, mind you, spend way too much money on liquor. And I was like, because I refused to buy it for the house.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to have that habit. But it was just like, I'm good.
I'm cool.
Good. Yeah, I'm cool. I didn't really, realize I didn't miss anything. I got new glasses, so these are my new.
Those are cute.
Oversized. Yeah, Warby Parker. What else happened? I watched a lot of TV, as per usual. Making the Cut, one of the greatest shows ever.
Ooh.
That's the new Project Runway with Heidi and Tim.
Heidi Klum?
Mm-hmm.
And Tim who?
Because remember, God, it's the same people. It's just, remember, Project Runway ended. She left him because of the Weinstein. They just recently bought Project Runway back with Christian Siriano and Carly Kloss.
Oh, I didn't know. Wait, he was involved in the original Project Runway?
Weinstein was the co-creator of Project Runway.
Oh, I didn't know
He was the
that.
executive producer, yeah.
Ooh,
it was
okay.
definitely a Weinstein thing.
Okay, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
But yeah, it's a really Making the Cut is a really good show on Amazon. What else? I watched a couple movies. I didn't really have anything like crazy happen or wild happen. You had the more stuff wild happen to you. I was just
Speaking of
out
movies,
here shopping.
I watched this movie on the plane called Simon, Loving Simon, Love Simon.
Love Simon.
Love Simon. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Not this.
Yeah.
I'm dying. Not this. It's a cute movie.
It's not for me.
No, it's not for me either. Just like Grownish, but I said when it was over, I said they need movies like this. I mean,
it's not for me.
The theme. The theme is cute. It's about this young teenage boy who's in the closet, and he is having trouble wanting to identify publicly as a young gay boy. I like some of the themes where they talk about, just because you're gay don't mean you are this person. That doesn't change anything. And they talked about how straight kids don't have to come out as straight. So I thought that it's necessary for the young tweens. You are a hateful ass.
It's not for me.
It's not for me either, nigga.
I'm trying to be, Fran about things. I'm on my Fran-fold path. I'm being intentional and peaceful with my words and actions. So I'm not saying that it is, I can't say anything nice. So I'm just saying it's not for me.
I believe it.
I don't want to lie. So
I will say
what it
JetBlue
is.
flights also have Paris is Burning on there. And
Yeah.
so I did watch that as well. And it is so wonderful to see people around you when you're watching Paris is Burning. I was like, yes. Get curious.
My element.
And they also have 30 episodes of AJ and the Queen.
Which
I couldn't.
Did you start watching AJ and the Queen?
It's not for me.
They got a scene in there where RuPaul is getting, has like a love intimate scene.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
When RuPaul had those fake insinuation scenes with Black Vampire, what's his name?
Jeffrey Boyer Chapman.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it really does.
And it doesn't have anything. Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, hella uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
It was like watching Bill and Brianna. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, it makes me hella uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. But
I know we're supposed to, the last thing before we go, and I know we're going to talk about on Patreon, but so I actually listened ahead of Serial. I know we've been doing week by week and taking notes, but whatever. But Chris Rogers is a Johnny Come Lately, so wanted to listen to the whole thing at once. He was like, "There's a reason I didn't listen to this at first because I get too into this shit." And when I tell you, this nigga has developed a war room as to what happened to Heyman Lee.
not a war room.
When I tell you, this nigga thinks he is.
He got sticky notes and
in
shit.
such a war room, like mental, like every other day. So Heyman, right? Or he gets busy. He'd be like, I can't think of, how do you have time to think about my bitch? Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, not my bitch. Why do I hear him saying this too?
Yeah. But I say all this to say, it is very interesting and telling about how news stories that are supposed to be in our, and by our I mean colored folks' interests, and how quickly it turns into, for lack of a better word, a white story. Because as I keep listening to Serial, and if you listen ahead, and we'll talk about it because I have made notes, and it's like there are things that she glaringly overlooks because she's a white woman. Because she said out of her mouth in like episode 7 or whatever, she's like, I don't think there was any racism involved in the case.
She did say that.
What do you mean?
Well, you remember there was a couple points where I was like, wait a minute now, Sarah. What did she, or when she would say, when she said, when I'm talking to him, I forget that he's in prison. I'm like, but how?
Right. How, girl? It says collect call from Baltimore Correctional Facility.
I guarantee you that nigga's not forgetting he's in prison.
Right. I also have this new theory that, well, it's not a new theory, it's an old theory, but and then Adnan and Jay was fucking.
Oh.
When you go back and you listen to it, let me tell you something. Ladies, gaydies, and theydies, let me ask y'all something. When you if you have ever lent your car to somebody, who was it to? It was your nigga, wasn't it?
Oh, well, I never lent it, but yes. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
I've never lent a nigga a car. I'm proud.
Neither have I.
No.
I've never even lent a nigga a Metro card. How about that?
No.
So,
no. Never paid for his cab.
Yeah, that's right. Good pussy cost, bitch. But yeah, there are just so many moments where I am like, I'm not saying he gay. I'm just saying these niggas talk like they've been in love with niggas before. Again, you see what I mean? They're not gay. They just may or may not have been in love with a nigga before.
Okay, perhaps. I'm always down for a new theory.
But yeah, my summer break was kind of cool. I'll probably have more stories when I visit my mother this week.
Can't wait.
So, yeah. But to recap, Jade had an amazing summer vacay. We're going to do a whole bunch of new stuff on Patreon soon. Again, with announcing something really, really cool.
Yes, I'm coming back with a bunch of new Patreon content. I know that it was a long hiatus, but I've actually already started filming it. And so there's a bunch of stuff coming. And it will be consistent because I now have some assistance and some help. So...
Same with YouTube. I know I got one resume, but feel free to email me again at xd@thexdexperience.com if you want to work for the XD Experience or XD Xavier Delow, because we have a couple of projects coming, which I'm thoroughly excited about. Right, and so if you want to be down with Get Down, if you want to edit or write or anything, you know, you holler at me. and we'll go from there. And of course, subscribe to our Patreon. $7 holla, you access everything. Again, it's $7. Adjust that you need if you need to. And subscribe to our YouTube channel because we have more stuff coming there. I'm so glad we're finally able to have one again.
Yay!
Yeah, and again, to remind you, we'll be available everywhere soon. If not, by the time you're listening to this, or next week, we should be available anywhere. So tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Anything else?
Nope. We'll see you niggas next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.